Hi everybody. Now this video might be a little bit controversial, but I want to put forward the argument that it's time, well almost time, for the DayZ Devs to stop adding things to the game we have. So if we consider the game we have now, DayZ standalone, it's the version we play on PlayStation, Xboxes and PC, I don't think it needs much more to be finished, and it's time that we kind of put this version to bed on this particular engine, and the devs put all of their efforts into DayZ 2, whatever the next iteration is DayZ, and we know it's probably going to be on the new Enfusion engine like Armour Forger runs on. And so what they could continue to do is do quality of life improvements, so bug fixes and the like for DayZ standalone going forward, but all of their efforts should go into the new version of the game. However, there are a couple of little things that I think that they could add to finish this version of DayZ off that would make me very, very happy, and in kind of a reverse order of what I would like to see. To finish this off, if you're listening, DayZ Devs, is I think we need a keycard structure for Chernarus on Vanilla that we can use on consoles. So some sort of door that we can add in that will take the keycard, so we don't have to use the Livonia one. I think we really need, and this is quite important, the ability to lock normal doors on buildings. And I don't mean just with a lockpick. I mean maybe some sort of kit that you could make out of, I don't know, like a hasp and staple and a padlock and some nails, and you would place that on the door and combine it with a hammer, and it would then allow you to put a lock on the door of a normal house, so you could secure ordinary buildings. And to kind of go along with that, I think we need, maybe we could have a new lock, like a padlock which had a key, that if the player had the key in their inventory, they could automatically, they would automatically unlock that door when they went up to it. You go unlock and it would unlock it. But I also think it would be really nice if they added the ability that if you set a combination lock, that once you've set it, your character didn't have to keep putting the numbers in. As soon as you went up to that particular lock, you would just have unlock and it would unlock and you would go through. I think that would be good. Now, I would really like the AI to be able to climb on cars and open doors. I know there was a big hoo-ha when the devs said, look, we're not going to be working on AI this year, but don't really want a big rework. Just these existing ones, do it so that they can climb on cars and they can eventually open doors. Maybe they have to bash them through a few times and they can open doors. However, what I would like to go along with this is a JSON control file, or maybe you could add it to cfggameplay.json, which by infected type maybe, so you can have like military zombie, civilian zombie, etc. You can control some of these things. So I'd like to be able to control how sensitive the zombies are, or the infected are, to discovering players, and what range they can discover players at. I'd like to be able to control whether, when they're agro'd, whether they can run or sprint, or whether they just walk. So you could have walking zombies, who aggro just walk towards you. You can do this in various PC mods. And how long they stay aggro when they're chasing you. And then what I'd really like as well to go along with this is a headshot only option on the infected. So they really become like zombies then. So that you could have walking zombies that but the only way you can kill them is with headshots. And then they can also open doors and climb on cars as well. So you'd have a threat, you'd kind of have this slow brooding threat. You go through a town and the zombies would be walking after you, and you'd be thinking, oh, you're alright, but then all of a sudden there's 20 of them around you and things would get very sticky indeed. And I really like that sort of zombie as well, a slow walking zombie who's harder to kill. Also, I would like a separate control JSON, or make it part of the cfggameplay.json, to be able to spawn in new gear. This is something the devs have promised on console, so that we can control it because we don't have access to init.c, and so that maybe you could have multiple random loadouts. And the idea for this really is that it makes deathmatch servers much easier to do, because it means that when you died, you could spawn in back in a particular place, and you would spawn in with complete military gear, ready to get back into the fight again. And I'd like to have the option to have multiple different loadouts that you could bring in. So you not only could have military ones, but you could have like a hunter loadout, you could have, a worker loadout, you could have a carpenter loadout, all this sort of stuff that people could load into to really make their community servers different and interesting and personalised. And along with that, I would like would be able to link a username to a loadout as well. So in effect creating an admin, so that when this username, or it could be a Steam ID, spawns in, they get a particular loadout. But also you could link a Steam ID or a name to coordinates on the map as well, so that whenever the server restarts, if this person is on the logging into the server, I'm not quite sure how you do it, but something like, as they log into the server, instead of starting like on the coast or where they previously are, they would then be put at these specific coordinates. And then obviously as the admin, you'd have to go in and you'd have to then get rid of those coordinates, so that on a server restart you weren't teleported back to there. And that would really give us great options as admins to be able to spawn in with gear. You could have like admin gear, can't you? You know, where you wear all of the brightly coloured clothes. You could have weapons and things like that. But that would give us the ability to teleport around the map, not even on restarts really, as long as the game reads the CFG gameplay.json or this new spawn JSON live. So whenever a new player logs in, so if you log in, it looks at this and says, is your username this? Oh, it is, right, you should be in this location. Then what it could then do is you could change those coordinates on the go, even as the game was live. You could just be loading them into the server. Yeah, and I really think with those things, DayZ would be finished. And although you could say, would it ever be finished? But then obviously the devs would have to keep doing bug fixes, and when there's updates to Windows and Xbox and PlayStation as we go along, you know, we would have those sorts of updates, those background updates, but they wouldn't add anything new to the game. That would be it. And maybe, you know, we would have our seasonal events when they happen as well, but not spending any time or resources adding anything else, doing any other animations or anything like that, and spend all their time on DayZ 2 or DayZ Enfusion, because that's what we really need. Because when we have that, that's when we get workshop mods on console, and they're so much easier as well. That's where you easily get helicopters, you get ships, you get all this other wonderful stuff that Armour has, and DayZ on PC has, and then we can get them on console. Anyway, that's enough from me. What do you think? Put your questions in comments down below, or do you want them to keep developing this version of DayZ forever and a day? If you've enjoyed the video, hit like. If you want to see more, press subscribe, and we'll of course see you again soon. When do you want?